Good morning, students. We will begin with our today's session, right? In the last lecture, we were looking into LCD interfacing and its programming, right? So we had seen a program which displays a single character on LCD. Fine. In that program, we had kept r/w bar pin was permanently grounded. So what did we do is the program was as follows. We sent the 5 command words. The first command word was 38hex for 2-line display, 8 data lines and 5 cross 7 dot matrix character. The next command word was 06 automatic entry mode. Next command word was 01 clear the display, right? The next command word was 0e display on cursor on. Okay. The next command word we sent was 80hex so that the character should be displayed on first row, first column, right? So every time we sent one command word on port 1 where the data pins of LCD are connected, and we called the command function which activated the control signals register select and the read register select and the enable control signal. After initializing the control signals, we called the delay program. So FF count was loaded in register and we decremented that FF, and that was a delay program, right? So then the point is we didn't know how much time delay was generated by the delay program. We just put the maximum count in the register and we kept on decrementing, right? We didn't count exactly what was the time period generated by the delay program. Okay. Now the point is, whatever command words we sent, LCD may require different time intervals for its initialization. For few command words, for initializing few command words, LCD might take more time. For few command words, the LCD initialization might require lesser time. We do not know that, right? But then how effective can we write a program such that the LCD program execution will be faster? So we have one way out of it, right? We can check whether the LCD is initializing itself or whether LCD has finished its initialization. And how can we find that out? We can check the busy status of LCD, and that is where microcontroller will be reading from LCD. Correct. So as I told you all, whatever earlier program we have written, microcontroller was always writing onto LCD, either writing the command word or writing the data word to LCD. But now in today's program, we will see microcontroller read from LCD, and reading from LCD is reading the busy status. What busy status? Whether an LCD is busy initializing itself or whether the initialization of LCD is completed. That is called as the status. So that LCD status can be checked by microcontroller. How? It is the D7th data pin of LCD acts as the busy status pin of LCD. Is that okay? There are 8 data lines D0 to D7 for the LCD. Out of that, the D7th pin, when the D7th data pin is read, microcontroller will get to know the busy status of LCD. So if the D7th pin is 1, it indicates LCD is busy in its initialization. Do not send any command or data to it. Microcontroller understands LCD is busy initializing. Do not send another command on any other data to it. But if the D7th bit is 0, when the microcontroller reads the D7th bit 0, LCD has completed its initialization and it is ready to receive a new command or a new data word. Is that okay? So this is where microcontroller will be reading from that LCD. What will it read? The 1 bit, D7th bit. And the status of D7th bit, if the D7th bit is 1, LCD is initializing itself. Wait. If the D7 bit is 0, LCD has finished the initialization. It is ready to receive a new command or a new data. Is that fine? So now in this read operation, what are we reading? The D7th data pin. And what are we getting? We are getting the status. So that is as if we are receiving a command. Microcontroller is receiving a command status from that LCD. So then we need to activate these control signals, the three control signals. What are the three control signals that we need to initialize? The RS bit should be made 0 because microcontroller will be reading the busy status, mean will be reading a command from LCD. So that RS bit should be made 0. Next, R slash W bar should be logic 1. R slash W bar should be set because microcontroller is reading the D7th pin. Okay. And the enable control bit should have a rising edge so that the read operation should be activated. Is that okay? So this is where microcontroller will be reading from LCD. What it reads? The busy status, where it is available on the D7th data pin of that LCD. Is that fine? So by reading this busy status, we can make the LCD program execution a bit faster. Like in the earlier case, we had written some random delay program, and that fixed time random delay program, we were calling it every time. After every command word, we were calling that fixed delay program. Is that okay? Instead, this is a good option. That program execution can be faster because few command words may take longer time for execution and few command words might take lesser time for LCD initialization. Is that okay? So today we will modify the earlier program that we have written, and we will instead of calling a delay program, random delay program, we will read the busy status. If that busy status is 1, we will wait till the initialization is completed, and when the busy status is 0, we will go for sending the next command or the next data word. Is that okay? So just remember, we will be reading the D7 pin and we will be activating the control signals as follows. Register select will be cleared. Read slash W bar will be set because it is a read operation. Enable we will be giving a rising edge to activate the read operation. Is that okay? So let us go for modifying the earlier program. So I will share the window for Keel Microvision. So see, that's a program we had written earlier. Okay, so see, we had written that program. We had initialized stack pointer to 50 hex because we were going to use lcall instruction and return instruction. We were going to make use of functions. So stack pointer was initialized. Then we sent the first command word 38 hex, right, on port 1. This is where the data lines of LCD are connected. Then we called the command function, which is initializing those control signals. What control signal? RS is 0 and falling edge on enable. And then we waited for some random time period. So we called a delay program. And what was the delay program? See here, students, we had loaded FF count in R2 register, and we kept on decrementing R2. Right? When it becomes 0, we returned to the main program. So FF hex, this count was loaded and waited for the time till R2 became 0. And that fixed delay time interval we were calling after every command word. So first command word 38, call command, call delay. Second command word 0e, call initialize the control signals, wait for that certain time period. 06, initialize the signals, wait for certain time. Similarly, till we did wait for sending the character, right? So the character u, and then we sent that character. Okay, that character u. So that character u was sent, and we called the m data function, and again we waited for some time. Okay, so instead of loading some random count and decrementing and waiting till it becomes 0, we will write that delay reading the busy status. Is that okay? So let us go for the modification. Let me just comment this program. Okay, students. And let us write the delay program. And in what way we will be reading the busy status. So let me give the same name to the function delay, delay. Is that okay? Let me write the delay program in some another way. And what is that another way? Right? Another way is reading the busy status of LCD. We will write it reading the busy status of LCD. Is that okay? Now reading the busy status, what did we think about? That D7th pin is to be read. Correct? It means that D7th pin should act as an input. So the first thing I need to do is initialize the D7th pin as input. Where are the data lines connected? The data lines of LCD are connected to port 1. It means the D7th data line is connected to P1.7. So I should initialize that pin as an input to microcontroller. So initializing is sending logic 1. So set bit, which bit? P1.7. Let me write the comment. What are we doing here? Initializing, I am initializing D7th pin, D7 data pin, means what? P1.7. P7 data pin is nothing but P1.7 as input to microcontroller. Okay. Now we have initialized that as an input pin. What next we need to do? We need to read that D7 pin. But before reading, we have to initialize or activate the control signals. What are the control signals? Register select. So we are reading the status of LCD. So that is a command. So that register select should be 0. Next, we are reading from LCD. So R/W bar should be 1. It is a read operation. And there is a rising edge on that enable pin. So that activate the read operation. Right? But now see here students, whatever interfacing diagram I had shown earlier, in that R/W bar pin was permanently grounded. Now, if we are doing the read as well as the write operation to LCD, right, writing the command words, writing the data words, and reading the busy status, in that case, R/W bar, we cannot connect it to some permanent connection. While writing operation, that R/W bar should become 0, and during the read operation, R/W bar should become 1. It means R/W bar should be controlled by one of the of microcontroller. Okay, so I'm just writing it in a comment. So let me say R/W, that is W bar, R/W bar, let it be connected to P2.2. P2.0 is RS. P2.1 is the enable signal connection. So let me connect R/W bar to P2.2. Correct. And what logic should I send there? I should make, we are reading. So that should be set. Is that okay? So mean logic 1 should be sent on P2.2. Are you getting me? So we need to do this modification in the interfacing diagram. R/W bar should be connected to P2.2 of that microcontroller. Okay, so now what instruction do I need to write? See here students. What instruction do I need to write? We need to send logic 1 on R/W bar. So set bit. Which bit? P2.2 bit should be set. It means read operation will happen. Correct? And then we have to activate the enable signal. I should give a rising edge. Rising edge means initially it should be logic 0. And then that enable pin should be made logic 1. That gives me rising edge. Where is enable connected to? P2.1. So initially I should clear which bit? P2.1. So let me write the comment. What am I doing? Enable pin. Enable pin is where? P2.1. And what am I giving there? Logic 0. Okay. Next, immediately next, I will set that bit. So what am I doing? Set bit. Which bit? P2.1. It means I am sending logic 1 on P2.1. So what did I do by doing this? Rising, rising, RISI, rising edge on enable, enable pin of LCD. So we gave an rising edge. So all the initialization is done. We have initialized the D7th data pin as input. We activated the control signals, that is R/W, W bar is 1, falling edge on enable pin, right? And we need to do RS, right? What is RS? It's a command. So I need to clear that RS bit because we are getting command from that LCD. Clear. Where is RS connected to? P2.0. So 2.0 is cleared. So what did we do here? RS. What is RS? Connected to P2.0. What are we sending? Logic 0. That is busy status. BUSY. Busy status of LCD. We are going to receive. Okay, so RS is done, R/W bar is done, enable we got the rising edge, and now read the pin. Read the D7 pin. If the D7 bit is set, correct? If the D7 bit is set, we should keep on waiting because LCD is busy. But if the D7th bit is 0, mean LCD has finished initialization, send the next command word. So there is if else condition. If the D7 is 1, do something. If the D7 is 0, go back to the main program. Is that okay? So it means if the bit is set, we should loop, we should wait there. So if else mean it's a jump instruction. Whenever there is an if else condition, mean I need to write a jump instruction. And then where do I need to be in loop? If that D7 bit is 1, wait. Okay, so see, I am writing the instruction. Jump if the bit is set. Which bit? The D7th bit. Where is D7 connected? P1.7. Correct. So jump if the bit is set. Which bit? P1.7. Where I give a label as STUCK, stuck. If the bit is 1, wait. LCD is busy initializing. So jump if the bit is set. So where should I write that label stuck? See here students, I should write it to the same instruction. Right? Why do I need to do like this? If the bit is 1 means what is my command? P1.7 is 1 means D7th bit is 1. Wait till D7th bit becomes 0. ZERO. So I have to keep on waiting here. Till the time it is 1, remain there and continuously keep on checking. Is it 1 still? Is it 1 still? Correct. And as soon as it becomes 0, mean the initialization is done. It will come out of the jump instruction. Okay, it will come out of the jump instruction. Fine. And then we will return, mean initialization is over. We should go back. Is that okay? Right? So we should go back to the main program. So what should I do? I should return. Is that okay? And that is done. This will be my delay program now. Are you getting me? Now, what is my delay program? Right? Why did we write a delay program? That delay program was allotting a sufficient time for LCD to do its initialization. So instead of writing some random count and waiting till it decrements, let us go for a more effective way. Let us check the busy status of LCD. If the LCD is busy, let us wait in that delay loop. let us wait at the same instruction, and as soon as the busy status is 0, let us return to the main program to send the next command or next data. Okay, and to check the busy status, we initialize the D7 pin as input, set bit P1.7. Then we activated the control signals. What were the 3 control signals? Clear the RS, because it is a command that we are going to read from LCD. Next, set R/W bar is 1. Set that bit, mean microcontroller is reading from LCD. And let there be a rising edge. So clear P2.1 and set 2.1. This is going to give rising edge on enable. Activate the read operation. After doing all the control signal initialization, we read the D7th pin. And if the D7th pin is 1, we waited at the same jump instruction. JB, jump if the bit is set. Where? At the same jump instruction. And once the bit is 0, we return to the main program, because initialization is over. This is a much effective way in giving time to that LCD to initialize itself. So let us just, we will not run it. We will just check for any syntax error and so, right? So just build target, because we have already seen that the program is working. Okay. So it is, okay. So we will just check for any syntax errors and see here, 0 error, 0 warning. A hex file is also getting created. Okay. So this is where we read from LCD, right? So that is the modification, checking the busy status. Now see here, students, this program, right? Whatever program we have written, whatever, it is displaying only one character on LCD. It is displaying only one character onto LCD. Now I will modify the same program. I'll modify the same program so that it displays a message, number of characters on LCD. Is that okay? Whenever you write a program, right, the program should be such that with little modifications, or I should say with 0 modifications, your program should be able to display one character, should be able to display multiple characters, should be able to display messages of any length, right? So the program should be like this. It is not that every time you do the modification and then the program will work to display one character, again do modification so that it is used to display a string. No, that is a bad way of programming. Our program should be such that once we write it to display something on LCD, it should be able to display a single character, it should be able to display multiple characters, or it should be able to display a message of any length. Is that okay? So let us modify this a little bit. Okay, so let us modify. Let us write a program to display hello, or string HELLO. Okay, now see, whenever you do your projects, right, mostly on that LCD, whenever you power it on, the name of the project gets displayed. Water level controller or greenhouse automation. So that is the name of the project gets displayed, or you display your name. Okay, mean those messages, the first messages are fixed. Whenever you power it on, the messages are fixed. Okay, so let me write a program to display hello. Now this hello string, HELLO, these characters, whenever you power it on, I should see hello on the LCD display. The characters are never going to change. Correct? Mean any such information, any such data which does not change in the program, we save it in ROM memory. Okay, so I am modifying this program. Okay, we are going to modify this program to display multiple characters, that is display hello string, and let this hello string be stored in program memory, the ROM memory itself. So let me modify that. So this is my program. Okay, 38, these are the main program. Then we had the command function. right? We had command function, then we had data function, and then we had that busy status checking, that delay program. Okay, and then we did end our program. Okay, so hope can you see that. This was that reading the busy status, and this is where we ended the program. Right now I'm going to modify this. Instead of displaying a single character, it will display a string, it will display a message. Okay, so let me store the message in the program memory. Fine. And where is that message stored? So let me say originate, let the message be stored at 100 hex. So originate 0x100. And what is my message? I will type my message db, define byte. So I'm going to store the message in the program memory. Okay, what is my message? Hello. What are the ways to store your characters? In a single quote, that's the letter H, comma, again in single quotes, the second letter E, comma. This is one of the way to give HELLO, comma, one character one by one and into single quotes. So that is at 100 location, character will be stored, and so on. Okay, or else there is another way to enter your characters, right? I'm going to display hello, so into double quotes let me enter the entire message, HELLO. This is also okay. If there is a single character, put it inside single quotes. If there are multiple characters, put it inside double quotes. So the way I have done here, define byte, we are allocating byte memory to store each and every character. And what are the characters? Into double quotes, HELLO, hello. Okay, so again the same thing is going to happen at 100 location, H will be stored, ASCII code of H. At 101, ASCII code of E. L, this is 102, 103 and 104. So each character is stored in one 8-bit memory location. Is that okay? So let me give my characters in the program memory. Okay, now see what modification I'll have to do here. Where is the program which sends the character? So let us come to the main program. This is the part of the program which displays a single character. I need to modify here. I need to modify here. How modification is? Take the character one after the other, send it on port 1, call the mdata function, that is activate the control signals. Okay, then call the delay function. Is that okay? So now if it was a single character, that is the reason we gave hash and the character. Now I cannot do like this because I know that my character is stored in program memory. So I need to pick the characters from the program memory. And such how many characters there are? HELLO, there are 5 characters. Correct. It means I have to repeat this MOVP1, lcall data, lcall delay. I have to repeat this 5 times. Correct. To display those 5 characters. So the first modification what I'll have to do is I have to make a counter. And of what size? 5. Why? Because I'm displaying 5. I'm displaying a message which is having 5 characters. So I need to loop this, send the character on port 1, call the control signal for data, and call the delay function. So the first modification is all the initializations are done at the beginning. So the first modification is MOV, initialize a counter of 5 using some register. So let me take R3 and hash 05 hex. I'm loading that count 5 hex in register R3. So why am I taking this counter? To keep track of 5 characters sent on LCD. Okay, why? Because I'm displaying hello. Hello is made up of 5 characters. So I have taken a counter of 5. Okay, and so I'll keep this in loop 5 times. Okay, now the next thing, where is my character? At program memory. So the first character is at 100 hex location. Second character is at 1001. Next 1002. Oh, sorry, 102. So I need to pick the characters from program memory. How do we pick data from program memory? See what instruction, students? Data transfer means it is MOV. Internal memory data transfer, then it is MOV. External RAM data transfer, it is MOVX. And program memory data transfer, it is MOVC. Let the program memory be internal or let the program memory be external. Okay, so the characters, we are going to copy the characters from program memory. It means I need to use instruction MOVC. Now MOVC, how is the format of the instruction? It means I need one pointer register to point to program memory. And which pointer it is? DPTR. Always. So to copy data from program memory, I need to make use of a pointer, and the pointer register is compulsory DPTR. Correct? Right? So it means that DPTR should be loaded with the correct address. Where is my message? 100 hex. Mean DPTR should be loaded with 100 hex. So what is my next instruction? Initialization, MOV, DPTR, comma. What number should I load? Hash 100 hex. Because this is from where my message is stored. Correct? So what did we do here? Right? Initialize DPTR to point to the message hello. Okay, this is where the message is stored 100 hex onwards. Right, so that initializations are done. We 5 count is the DPTR pointer to 100. That is the starting address of the message. And now we come to displaying, sending the character on LCD. Okay, now I cannot write hash because what do I know? I know that the message is right. So here I need to pick the character from the program memory. So what is that instruction I said you all? MOVC. Right, copy the data from program memory. So how is the format of MOVC instruction? MOVC A comma at the rate A plus DPTR. This is how the instruction is. Okay, students. So what are we doing here? Copy the character from program memory. Okay, so when DPTR is already at 100 hex, that is where is my first character, right? So character is getting copied in accumulator. But see how is the format? It is addresses. This is indexed addressing mode instruction. So what has happened? Something from accumulator gets added with DPTR. What do I want to do? Character at 100 hex is to be picked up. DPTR is showing the correct address 100 hex. So nothing should be added in that address. But the format is A plus DPTR. It means I should be careful while picking the data. What should I do is DPTR is showing the correct address location. So nothing should be added in that DPTR address. Mean accumulator should be cleared. MOVA comma hash 00 hex. Clear the accumulator so that 00 gets added in DPTR. So DPTR is 100 hex, accumulator is 0, mean eventually on addition, what is the address we are going to pick the data? Microcontroller is going to pick the character 100 hex. Okay, so be careful with this. Whenever you use MOVC, right, do not forget to clear the accumulator, because DPTR is pointing to the correct address. Okay, so we took the first character H, and where is the character stored? In accumulator. Now this H character is to be sent on port 1. So what should be modification in the next instruction? MOV P1 comma, where is the character? In accumulator. The character from accumulator, see your students, the character from accumulator is sent on port 1, and then call the control signals for sending the data, wait for certain time, that is we are going to read the busy status, that is L call delay, right? And now we have, by doing this modification, right, we have only displayed the first character H. We should display the second character, the third, the fourth, fifth, and after fifth we should stop the program. Means after displaying the first character, we should decrement the counter. So DJNZ, which is the counter register? R3. We had displayed one character, so decrement the counter and repeat the display process. So I need to repeat the display processes, point to the next character, take that second character in, send it on port 1, call mdata, call delay. So that this set of instructions are going to be repeated. So DJNZ, I'm writing the label up. So where should be that label up? That should come to take the character and display. But before taking the character, we should increment the pointer. DPTR. So before decrementing the counter, let me INC increment DPTR. That is, let me point to the second character. So let me write the comment here. Point to the next character, and then go for decrementing the counter. Then what are we doing? Decrementing the counter is check if all characters displayed. If not, go back, pick the second character, send it on port 1, and repeat the process. Hope you all are getting me, students. Is that okay? Right? And now after this will keep on happening till all the 5 characters are over. And 5 characters over mean R3 will become 0. And it will come out of the loop, and then we end our program. SJump here. Hope this is okay, students. Right? Did you get this? So this is the modification. What modification we did do is, we initialize the data pointer to the starting address of the message. The message was of 5 characters, so we initialized one register with a count. The next modification, 5 character display. It is displaying a message only up to 5 characters. Okay, so there is a limitation. What limitation? You are displaying the characters, you are displaying the message only up to 5 characters. Okay, again, this is not good. It is putting limitation in your program. Your display program should be such that any linked message, it should be able to welcome to FAMT if I want to display something like this. Okay, then how long is my message? See, that is WELCOME. So how many characters it is? This is 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. Space is 1 character, that is 8, 9, 10. Again the next space, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Mean now your message is of 8 characters. Right? Mean again, are you going to go back and change the counter and make the counter to 15? Second time, I might change this. I might make it of 20 characters. Right? Then that is bad. Every time when I change the message, my program should be such that just change the message and run the program. My program should be such that I need not require any changes to be done in the program. I just change the message and run the program, it should work. Is that okay? Now the way we have written, it is putting a limitation on what is the size of the message, 5. No, that is bad. Okay, then how do we modify this program and how do we make it more generic? Let you put one character, your program should work for it. Let the message be of 5 characters or any length character. Your program should work without doing any changes in the program. Okay, that's the good programming. Okay, so then where is the limitation? This putting a count, this should not happen, so I'm commenting that. Okay, I'm commenting this, I'm not fixing the message length. But then how do I understand what is the size of the message that we are going to display? Look into, if I write something like this, welcome to FMT, how much characters we said? It is 15 characters. Where are we storing this message? At 100 hex location. Okay, so at 100 hex location, the ASCII code of W will be stored. At 101, the next character will be stored, and so on. So at the last T, the last character, just let me, the last character T will be at 15th location, mean 10F. 10. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E. The last character will be stored at 10E. Okay. And by default, right, one more character will be stored at 10F, and that is the null character. Is that okay? So see, I'm just writing it at the as a comment, right? Whatever you enter into double quotes, that string is getting saved, as well as at the same time, by default, a null character, CHARAC, null character is stored at the end. Mean if I'm having 15 characters, the storage will be of 16 characters, and the 16th character is the null character. And how do you represent the null character? I write it in single quotes, \0. That's the null character, \0. Okay, so always remember, students, whenever you put the message in double quotes, the storage is those many characters plus one more additional null character at the end. Okay, then I can make use of this. Where should we stop displaying? When should the display stop? Whenever a null character is received, it means it is the end of the string. Stop the display. Are you getting me? So that is what I can make use of, and that's the way I can give any length message, because I know when is the message going to end. Whenever we receive a null character, it means we get an indication that the message has ended. Stop the display process. So let us make use of this. So where modification I'll have to do? First of all, remove that count. Remove that count part. Right? So then where modification I have to do? The display. This is where we are displaying the character. Correct? MOV A, 00, MOVC A, @ A plus DPTR, mean we are taking the character. Here I need to do a modification. Okay, so as soon as we pick the character, we will check, is it a null character? Is that okay? So whatever message characters we take in from the program memory, immediately we check, is that character a null character? If it is a null character, we will end the program. We will end the display program. If it is not a null character, we will repeat the display process. Okay, it means the character whatever is taken, I need to compare it with a null character. Correct, students? Now see, comparison can be done in two ways. Either use CJNE instruction, compare and jump on equal, not equal, or you use subtract instruction. Now what is appropriate here? I need to check whether null character has received or not. So mean I need, what is more appropriate? Comparison, CJNE. Is that okay? Subtraction, whenever I need to find larger and smaller number. What is applicable here? CJNE. We are comparing whether it is a null or not. CJNE. What are we comparing? The character that we picked up from program memory. With whom are we comparing? Hash. What is that character? Null. So backslash 0. Whatever character you have taken in accumulator, compare if it is null. If it is equal, we are going to stop. If it is not equal, we are going to repeat the display program. Okay, so CJNE, compare and jump on not equal. If it is not equal, go to display the character. But if it is a null, mean if it comes equal, we have to end the program. End the program. Already the instruction is written, sjump here. So if the characters are equal, I should end the program. So where should I go to? Sjump to the label here. Hope you all are getting me, students. If the received character is the null, it means we have reached the end of the string. The comparison is equal. Jump will not take place. Jump will take place. How is the instruction? CJNE, compare and jump on not equal. But if the characters are equal, jump will not take place. Microcontroller will go to execute the next instruction. And what should be the next instruction? End the display program. Because I have received null character. So that's the reason what have we written? Sjump here. And what is sjump here? It's the end of the program. Okay. But if it is not a null character, go to display. Which instruction is displaying the character? MOV P1, A. Okay, so where should that label be? DISPLAY. That label should come to MOV P1, A. And the other thing is, as it is called the activate the control signals, call the busy delay function, increment the DPTR, and so on. So this modification CJNE A, comparing with null will now allow your program to display any message of any length. Hope you all are getting me, students. And that's how your programming should be. It should be general, right? Whatever modification, you just modify the message. What you want to display, you just modify the message. Whereas no modification is required to be done in the display program. In the main program or in the functions, no modification is required. That's called good programming. Okay, students. So just let me save it and check for any errors and warnings. Okay. Okay, so there's one warning. Value has been truncated to 8 bits. It is regarding this line number 30. So that it is that \0 ASCII code. Okay, so I can give an ASCII code also. Does not matter. It is 0. Okay, so I can do this. Okay, so that null is saying 0. Yeah, done. So that null character, the code for null character, see your students, 0x00. So either you can put it in single quotes, or I have put that's the null character 00, right? And now just that there was one warning. So instead of putting that in single quotes, I have put the ASCII code of null, and the ASCII code of null is 00. So let me build it again and see if I get an error. Actually, that's not an error. It was a warning. Now that's done. Hex file created and 0 error, 0 warning. Is that okay? So see here, students. So what did we see in today's lecture? We did read from LCD the busy status. So instead of generating a random delay program, we checked the busy status of LCD and then went on sending the command words and the data words. Okay. Then we looked into sending a string of 5 characters, hello. We modified the program to display the message hello. And then we modified the program to display a message of any length. Is that okay? Hope you all have understood this. Hmm? Please try to do this using Keel and run it and see in Keel. Okay. So thank you students for attending. Thank you. Bye and see you in the next lecture.